The 834th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus.
How do you go, Generino? It's welcome to episode 834 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Don Juan, who says Gumby doing Gumby things on the old YouTube. And I think it's a picture of money. I think he put it after it. But yeah, Gumby did a bunch of Gumby things this past weekend. Gumby's going to do some more Gumby things today because this is a regional MMA episode. Once again, I am one of the hosts, Supremo Simplicio, Jeff Fox. That would be Daniel Gumby Vreeland, the aforementioned. We're covering Cage Warriors 189. They're back to Italy this coming Saturday, and we've got your winning plays. Gumby, hello. Thoughts on this here card? A lot of Italians on this here card.
Yeah, and you know what I say about some of these regional cards when it's a promotion from a particular area, and they decide to go somewhere else. You know, we covered Ryzen in Korea yesterday, so same thing here. It's a Japanese promotion in Korea. We got a British promotion in Italy. Right, we're in Italy this weekend, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, okay. I thought I remembered that right. And they loaded up with Italians in largely winnable fights, which is it's clearly a strategy by regional promotions or the bigger regional promotions that have the ability to travel.
Right.
Doesn't mean we have to like it all the time. I'd rather you just make compelling matches every single time so I can watch them on Fight Pass from the comfort of my own home and not buy a ticket and still get good fights. But those promotions are going to do what makes them money, sells the tickets. And, it's not like there's no interesting fights here. In fact, I've got a couple of here's a teaser for you. A couple of underdogs I like here.
Oh, nice. That was my next question. Are we going to get good lines at the very least for this event?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, if the dogs hit them, for sure. All right, so that's Cage Warriors 189. Of course, we were referring to this past last week when Gumby killed it on Road to UFC and killed it on LFA. So hopefully you listen to the past two episodes and or watch, because that is some more regional winning picks for you. And then starting tomorrow, you have to start paying attention to me again, because I'll give you the winning MMA, winning UFC plays, because I'm ahead of Gumby in the UFC. But there is still plenty of time. That's Gumby likes to remind you. Speaking of reminders, our merch store is running a sale right now, 20% off everything in the store if you use the code DEGENS. So that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Check out the new DEGENS line of merch in there, and of course the MMA Gambling Podcast gear. We got a lot of cool stuff in there. So check it out, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. All right, we're going to Rome, Italy on the 31st of May, which will be this Saturday, 10:30 a.m. start time. So basically Ryzen will be finishing up right around then. So it'll be perfect. You can stay up all night and watch the MMA.
I don't know. Those Ryzen events take days, man. It feels like
it's starting 9 hours before this. Do you think they can get it done in 9 hours?
It might be wrapping up right when this starts.
Good old PFL.
There's going to be 7 intermissions. They're going to have a concert in there. Floyd Mayweather is going to come out and say that he might possibly box somebody he knows from the promotion. Maybe the president of the promotion. Who knows? It's long. It's a commitment.
It is true. But if you make money while you're doing it, it won't be so bad, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right. So we're going to Rome Saturday, 10:30 a.m. But as Gumby said, if you don't want to go to Rome, I don't know why you wouldn't want to go to Rome, but if you just want to watch it from the comfort of your house, then feel free to watch it on UFC Fight Pass. 19 fights. So speaking of long fight cards, Gumby, it's gonna be a while. And people insist that we cover every fight, so we're gonna do all 19. Okay, I didn't tell you this in advance, Gumby. So hopefully you're ready, prepared for it.
We're gonna do the 5 main card fights.
We'll do the 5 main card fights. That's true. Let's break them down. Actually, Tapology does not know the order. We know the order.
Yeah. Cage Warriors website has the official order. If anybody's thrown off by us not matching Tapology, Cage Warriors updates their website far quicker than Tapology does.
Yeah. We're starting with a 145-pound belt, which would be, by my math, that would be featherweight. We were doing some different weight classes. The other two promotions we did, but Cage Warriors is basically the same as the rest of the world. We got Simone Diana, excuse me. No, we're not doing that fight. You're right. My apologies.
I'm going to talk about it during my lightning round.
I'm giving things away on you. All right.
Yeah.
No, we're doing the one. We're doing, where is it?
Luca Borando.
Luca Borando. I had it on my screen. I don't know why it is not there. Here we go. Luca Borando. He is from Italy, surprisingly. Jan Mašek. He is from Czech Republic. They are fighting at 145. Let's break it down by telling you about Borando first. No odds yet. Sorry. They may be posted by the time you hear this, but as of recording, no odds as of yet. Borando, 5-1, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. He owes his rounds, 3-1 in Cage Warriors. TKO win in his last bout. An inch of height over Mašek. 3-1 with 1 submission. He's been submitted once. He definitely owes his rounds. 1-1 in Cage Warriors. Win over his last 3. 1-0 as a pro kickboxer, 2 years younger than Borando.
So this line will really interest me on where it comes in, because on one hand, you got the local in Borando, who we kind of expect to be set up with fights. On the other hand, we've got, on the same hand, rather, we got Borando as having a much longer, better looking record than Mašek. But on the other hand, like Mašek was like a longtime IMMAF guy, had a big amateur career, kind of came to Cage Warriors, highly touted. I don't know that will outweigh his short record. So I'm going to say Borando, but I'm going to say maybe not an absurdly large favorite. I'm going to say like maybe a negative 165, hopefully. And I'm getting Borando here as the favorite. And the reason I like him in this one is because if you watch Mašek, he's kind of got nice combinations, but he gets a little bit wide with the shots towards the end of the combinations, particularly if he's landing. And the other thing he does is like he'll land and then he like basically wants to reset immediately after. He'll like back way up. Even if he didn't get tagged, he like looks for a reset. And like, first of all, that's no way to build momentum. And actually in the fight he lost, it kind of cost him because he backed way up and then got taken down. And like Borando has the takedowns to take him down. He wrestles really well, particularly when he's pressuring, and his footwork's pretty good. So he's going to be moving forward a lot. He throws a lot of kicks to the body to force his opponent back. So look, if Mašek comes forward with a combination, gets hit with something to the solar plexus, or even, just something hard to the stomach, he's going to start backing up more and more because that's his MO anyway. Like that's his MO if he doesn't get hit with kicks to the chest. I think Borando's going to hit him with those kicks to the chest, get him back up. And then like you'll see the takedowns start to take over. So I think for Mašek, like the only way he would be able to win this game or this fight is to push forward and to bring the pressure himself. And he just doesn't do that for long enough stretches of time to beat somebody like Luca Borando. So I'm going to take Luca Borando here, my first Italian on the card. And hopefully it's not too big of a favorite.
All right. We are sticking with the weight class featherweight. Giuseppe Mastrogiacomo, who we've talked about before. He is from Italy. Mervan Gencer is not from Italy. He is from Switzerland. They are fighting 3-5 rounds, 145. Gencer is 4-1, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. He has never been finished in a fight. Still owes his rounds, though. He's won 3 straight bouts, including his last one via submission. Used to fight at 155, so not much on the resume for Gencer. Mastrogiacomo, who we have discussed before, is the demon. 6-1, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been submitted once. 3-1 in Cage Warriors. Submission loss in his last bout. Used to fight at 155 as well. 10 years younger than Gencer.
I think Giacomo, he's one of those ones. Mastrogiacomo. I didn't mean to shorten it. Mastrogiacomo is going to come in massive favorite. I'll say 550. Gencer plus 400. And this is going to be my wild swing of the day. I'm going to take Mervan Gencer. There is a chance that the Mastrogiacomo line comes down a little bit because he is coming off that submission loss to Aiden Lee. But like that submission loss to Aiden Lee is why I like Gencer in this fight. Is like Mastrogiacomo, like he wants to fight you up close. He needs to get on the inside to get what he does best working. But like, he saw with Aiden Lee. Aiden Lee took his back like immediately and got right to the choke. Whereas like Gencer is pretty good at jiu-jitsu too. Like he's a really lanky guy. And so he's like one of those like, one of those Spencer Struve kind of grapplers. He's not that lanky, but like, uses his long limbs to his advantage in the grappling. So I think that's easier for him to take Mastrogiacomo's back if he's going to do it. So if like Mastrogiacomo tries to work his way in, there's a chance Gencer gets underneath the overhook and winds up on his back. Gencer himself is pretty good in the clinch. I've seen him reverse a lot of positions and push people against the cage. And obviously he's got the knees there if he wants. And then the other thing is his long and lankiness, like, makes it really hard for people to come in. So even if Mastrogiacomo, like, wants to get in close and to try doing all of that stuff, I think he might have a little bit of a tough time. I think he might find himself on the outside thinking he's going to land in whiffing a lot because Gencer is in a better range than he is. So again, it's a long shot here as an underdog, but I think the ways that Gencer has been good in the past might just be enough to upset Mastrogiacomo. And, I think, Cage Warriors was trying to set him up with a win here in Italy, but I don't know that they did a good job stylistically of picking a guy that he could beat.
All right. Gumby says you messed up, matchmakers. All right. Before we dive into some more winning plays, let me tell you about Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, and 100% approval for all betting deposits. So sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and deposit $25, and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And it's time for Gumby's Underdog Fantasy bonus pick and play of the episode. Underdog is going along for the NBA playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in game one, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. All right, Gumby, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with my Atlanta Braves playing Tuesday at the Philadelphia Phillies. The series is getting going, and I'm going to take Spencer Strider's higher on his strikeouts. He's been a little shaky since coming back from the hamstring issue, but I will say the shakiness is probably going to have that number a little bit lower, projected a little bit lower than it ought to be. And I'm going to go with the higher than on his strikeouts because, the Phillies also got plenty of swing and miss at the top of that order. It's not like Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber never strike out. So
right.
Maybe the higher than on Spencer Strider's strikeouts.
The Braves are good again. I see. I was watching them yesterday.
Yeah.
They're good again.
Ronald Acuna's back. He homered in the first 2 games back.
Yep.
He had like 900 feet of home runs in 2 games.
There you go. Sign up for the code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So it's underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving right along, right? We sticking with feather. Is this an all featherweight card, Gumby?
No, the next 2 are welterweights.
This one is okay. Sorry,
this one's featherweight.
Featherweight. Right after that. Right. Right. All right. Giuseppe Ruggeri. He's from Italy. Nicolas Barna is not from Italy. He is from
Argentina.
What flag is that? Uruguay. Interesting.
Oh, Uruguay.
Yeah, that's a cool flag. All right, let's break her down. Tell you about Barna. Nico, let's go bowling. 9-4, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. This is his debut. Win over his last 3, 2-3 over his last 5. He's a regional champ. He's fed at 135 and 155. Ruggeri, Gear 5th. This is his nickname, Gumby. Gear 5th.
I think that might be a translation issue.
Yes, 5th gear probably is what his nickname really is in English, which would make far more sense. Gear 5th is funny though, much funnier. 9-1, 3 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 2-1 in Cage Warriors. TKO win in his last bout. He's fed at 155 and 170. 4 years younger than Barna, 5 inches taller.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ruggeri. I think he's probably going to be like negative 350 here. Like he'll be a sizable favorite, but I'd still like him in this fight. He's got really good footwork, solid pressure. He cuts off the cage really well. He seems to want to get to takedowns. That seems to be his favorite way to win fights. He's kind of one-dimensional when it comes to his takedowns. He likes to work single legs way more than double legs. He doesn't really ever transition to the double leg when he thinks he ought to. Occasionally he'll do it, but he doesn't do it enough. So I like the single leg of him more often than anything else. And then in addition to that, I like kind of the way he throws. Maybe my one beef with him would be that he doesn't throw enough punches. Like if he threw more often, I would be way more confident in him. But like he kind of like throws enough to get to his takedowns and not too much more. But regardless of all of that, like I still like him here against Nico Barna because Barna, I mean, he's sloppy in pretty much everything he does. His stand-up doesn't look sharp. His ground game doesn't look sharp. I watched him shoot a takedown and just like completely not make contact with anything on that shot. It was like a matador with a bull. And so like his wild recklessness in coming forward actually might be to the benefit of Ruggeri kind of being like a little bit complacent on the feet. Because if he's going to be complacent on the feet, Barna's going to get on top of him right away. Like he's going to try to make him do something, and that'll either lead to Ruggeri landing what I think is much better striking, or it will lead to Ruggeri hitting one of those single legs, having control on top, and winning the fight there. So I'm going to go with Giuseppe Ruggeri. My guess, negative 350.
All righty, lock it in. We are to the co-main event. Khadim Dia from Italy, George McManus from Great Britain, I believe, or is he UK, United Kingdom? Excuse me. They are fighting at, it's going to be, told you, 170. So welterweight bout. McManus is the hangman, 4-4 with 4 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times. That's a lot of fours, and he owes his rounds. 3-3 in cage warriors. Win over his last 3. 2-3 over his last 5. Won his last bout via submission. He has not lost since November 2022. Used to fight at 185. Dia 6-0. Excuse me, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. He's 4-0 in cage warriors. TKO win in his last bout. Used to fight at 185. 1-0 as a pro grappler. 1-0 in shoot boxing. An inch of height over McManus.
Yeah, so I think Dia probably pretty big favorite here. We'll say like negative 300, maybe even higher than that. McManus, actually, it might be higher than that just because McManus is 4-4, and Dia's undefeated. It might be 500 then at that rate. But my breakdown of this is basically I'm going to take Dia. He's a guy who is really long and lanky, but uses none of that length on the feet, which is kind of a bummer, because it feels like if he rounded out that part of his game where he was a little bit better of a striker shaped like he is, he'd be like even more dangerous than he already sort of looks. And instead, like most of that length is used in his jiu-jitsu. And he's pretty good there too. I would say he does a really good job of like sweeping and using his submissions to get to advantageous positions and then like raining down ground and pound in like pretty brutal fashion. And as you mentioned, McManus is like a guy who's gotten submissions, but like kind of loses by TKO all the time because he's like in positions where he's on the bottom and looking for a submission. And so like, I think he's going to willingly go to the ground and sometimes be on the bottom. And like, I think Dia is good enough to like not get swept and just drop down ground and pound. And even if like McManus gets a takedown, which I kind of think he won't, because he's one of those guys who like looks for like really muscled out takedowns. Like he doesn't do the technique that you're expecting him to, or that he really needs to do. And Diaz does a pretty good job at grabbing underhooks and getting body locks too, for his own takedowns. But when McManus like is going to look to like muscle a takedown, he'll probably wind up on the bottom. But even if he does it, like Diaz sweeps people really well, particularly using his submissions. Like he'll go armbar and use it to get to the top, or he'll go heel hook and use it to get to the top. And McManus, like I've seen him get swept before. I've seen somebody just grab a guillotine and use that to ride to the top and then rain ground and pound on him. So, George McManus, clearly some sub skills in there, but like, up against a guy who I think is just like the wrong type of person to try to do that to. So I'll take Khadim Dia, probably a pretty large favorite though. And maybe one I'm not necessarily interested in at negative 500.
Okay. All right. Lock it in, though. Before we get you the rest of the plays, let me talk about Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs, PGA, MLB, and just launched the WNBA. Rhythm knows you love it. That's why they include a 7-day free trial. Get in on those Minnesota Timberwolves projections, or check them out. They should be pretty high. Well, actually, by now, they could be low again because OKC is pretty good. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on right now. 25% off monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off an annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. So that's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. And you can start off by getting a 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And Circa's Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway is on. Circa Resort and Casino is live in Las Vegas, is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. The winner will receive a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for their entire 12-person league at 6 Double King rooms. They get to hold their draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit, limo transportation to and from the airport, a welcome party at Legacy Club for the league, a reservation at the world's largest sportsbook with $500 beverage credit for the league, a 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhang Bar. Contest is on now until the end of June. And you can enter by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That would be sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. And we're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. For the true degens, the MyBookie money bag, check that out. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. They have easy deposits and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out the Cage Warriors line, sir. They will have them at MyBookie. And when you do head to MyBookie.ag, use our promo code MMASGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And to our main event, it is at welterweight as well. Giacomo Michelis from Italy. Sado Ucar. He is from Turkey. Let's break it down. Ucar, or is it Usar? It's probably Ucar, right?
I think it's Ucar.
Really? Fine. It's Usar. He's the Panther.
I have no way of knowing that, but
oh, okay. You just know it'll be opposite of what I said. So it's probably a safe bet.
Pretty safe guess, yeah.
Yeah. The Panther versus the Boar. The nicknames have linked up here. Perfect. The Panther is Usar or Ucar. 20-7, 9 knockouts, 8 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted 3 times. That is not durable. This is his debut. He's won 3 straight and 6 of 7. All those were finishes. He's not fought those since December 2023. He's not lost since May 2022. He's a regional champ. Was a regional champ. He's fought at 155. 2010 pro MMA debut, an inch taller than Michelis. Michelis, the Boar, is 7-1 with 1. The Boar as an animal, BOAR. 7-1 with 1 no contest. 3 knockouts, 1 submission. See, that's not boring. He finishes people. He's never been finished himself. 3-0 in Cage Warriors, 4-0 over his last 4. Obviously, he's not lost since March 2021. He's fought at 185, 6 years younger than Usar.
I'm going to take a wild swing on what I appear to be an underdog here again. I'm going to go with Usar. I think he's going to be like plus 325. This is just one of those instances where I think they tried to set up a fight that seems like it would work well, and I don't think they did so well for their Italian fighter here. Michelis is like a guy who he tries to close the distance with like jumping in, hitting his hooks. He switched stances a little bit on the way in, but like he kind of leaves himself open to counters there, and that's where I really like Ucar. I think his boxing's just like a little bit more crisp. And like, you know, he's pretty sharp there. And like his trouble in the past is that he's given up takedowns really easily. And Michelis is a guy who had a little bit of trouble with the defensive wrestling last fight. So I don't really feel like he wants to go back there. And even if he does, like, you know, Ucar's kind of underrated in terms of his jiu-jitsu game. He has really sneaky sweeps. Like I've seen him pick up some sweeps in positions you would just simply not expect a guy at his size to be able to hit. And then in addition to that too, like he kind of has good get up if he gets taken down anyway. So like maybe you don't have to worry necessarily about him doing it here against Michelis. But like the big piece is what I said in the very beginning. It's that like Michelis seems like he's open to be countered against in his striking, like a little bit too wide with his strikes. They don't come right down the middle. And Ucar is a guy who counters right down the middle with straight stuff. So if he comes in with that like sort of waiting shot going side to side, I wouldn't be surprised if Ucar clipped him a couple of times and got the better of those exchanges to the point where the judges like what they see. And so especially, you know, with a clear path to victory like that, if you can get him at, you know, I'm hoping 3-1 money here. I think he's worth a sprinkle too. Him and Gencer, you know, if you told me neither of them won, like, you know, yeah, maybe not the most shocking thing, but it also would not be surprising to see one or both of them pull this off at some pretty large numbers.
All right, recap for you people. Hold tight. We got more plays for you. Usar, Dia, Ruggeri, Mastrogiacomo. No, Gencer. That was his big swing. I just want to say that name, I think. Gencer and Borando. Okay, lightning round. Zap, bam, boom, pow.
So I got 3 for you on this one because it was a 19-fight card. I felt silly giving you 2. So we're going to go with the first one, Paddy McCrory. His line should not be playable in this one. He's a tough contestant formerly, and he was supposed to fight either the last Cage Warriors or 2 Cage Warriors ago. They pulled his fight like 2 hours before the fight card or something like that. He wound up, you know, obviously not being able to find a replacement that late. But I think they kind of had to give him a gift and put him on a fight card, and it looks like they couldn't find a competitive opponent for him. So like he'll probably be negative 1,500, but he's worth talking about because like, I mean, he looked good on the Ultimate Fighter. He's looked good since leaving the Ultimate Fighter. I have a lot of faith in Paddy McCrory. The other one I'm going to take, Simon Diana, who you mentioned at the beginning. You pretended to start breaking down his fight before we were even talking about it. He's fighting one of my favorite brother sets to fade. No offense to the Shelley brothers, but like it seems like every time they fight, I'm like, they can't win this one, right? And he's fighting Ryan Shelley here, so I like Simone Diana. And then the last one I'm going to take, I'm going to go back to the well and take. So you remember, I had a run of really good luck with Greek underdogs in Cage Warriors, and this fighter is Albanian. He's not Greek, but he does train in Greece. So I'm gonna play this as part of our Greek system play that we had last time. I'm gonna take Sulo Hilai. Sulo Hilai, he's got like I said, he trains in Greece. He's very fast. He's got really big KO power, and I think you're gonna get dog price on him no matter what. So how big? I mean, it's hard to tell way down on these 19 fight Cage Warriors cards how wide they'll set the lines, but you might be able to find like a plus 200 on them. In like I said, we've been lucky on our Greek system play. So give me once again that's Sulo Hilai, Patty McCrory, and Simone Diana.
Ride the system until the wheels fall off, and then ride a little bit more. Put it into gear fifth, Gumby, and then
gear fifth.
Let it roll. All right, you're all set now. We shall be in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We shall be on the old YouTube MMA Gambling Podcast. We shall make sure you subscribe, please and thanks. We shall be on the Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vrila, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. I shall be on my Substack, getting to my free UFC Pick'em contest at moneymma.substack.com. We should also listen to Top Turtle, Gumby's other podcast, because he has good people on it this week.
Yeah, I'm talking to Markel Medeiros, and I'm talking to Billy Goff, who, did I tell you this? Billy Goff had like the weirdest opponent shift, like the day after we set up the interview. So he was supposed to fight Sung Guk Choi or Suk Hyung Ko. Sorry, not Sung Guk Choi. That's a different guy. But he was supposed to fight the Ko guy, KO, who came off of Contender Series. And he couldn't get a visa. But also, lucky for him, Ramiz Brahimai's opponent, Oban Elliott, could also not get a visa to come into the country. So Brahimai is gonna fight Billy Goff, and in Azerbaijan in a month, Ko is going to fight Oban Elliott.
There you go.
So like real weird opponent switcheroo.
Shuffling the deck, but hey, it works. All right, so listen to Top Turtle. Of course, we are at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember, your code is DEGENS, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. And when you sign up to mybookie.ag and underdogfantasy.com, MMA SGPN is your code. All right, we'll get back tomorrow. UFC back. We'll be back. I'm going to shift it into gear fifth for that. The Panther, Jeff Fox, the Boar, Gumby Vrila. We'll talk to you then.